And now, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 12th edition of the Grant Thornton India Meets Britain Tracker. We're about to launch it. The tracker was developed in collaboration with the Confederation of Indian Industry and for the first time with India Global Forum 2. The tracker identifies the fastest growing Indian companies in the UK and the top Indian employers. It provides insight into things like the scale, business activities, location, and performance of Indian companies making the biggest impact. And I'd like to invite up to the stage for the launch of the tracker, Honourable Shri Piyush Goyal, if you wouldn't mind joining us again, Shri Goyal. Please come on up onto the stage. Oh, a whole lot of extremely distinguished people. His Excellency Vikram Doraiswamy, the High Commissioner of India to the UK. Her Excellency Christina Scott, the British Deputy High Commissioner to India. And if you'll forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to arrange our distinguished guests so that they present the best lineup for our photographers. So if you wouldn't mind, Mr. Doraiswamy, if you were to stand beside, and would you mind standing on this side? Yes, perfect, perfect. Mr. Doraiswamy, and then, yes, between, oh, sorry. We'll get there eventually. And now, who else should I call? Oh, no, but there's a lot more people coming up. Manoj, where are you? Please come on up, if you wouldn't mind standing on the right of High Commissioner Doraiswamy. Malcolm Gomersall, the CEO of Grant Thornton, where are you? Please do join us on the stage. And if you wouldn't mind standing on the left of Manoj. And Anuj Chande, are you here? Grant Thornton partner and head of the South Asian Business Group for Grant Thornton, and he's going to tell us about the contents. And if you wouldn't mind standing right in the center, between Shri Goyal and the High Commissioner. See, there was a plan.
Okay. I just hope gradually you don't push me out.
How could we? How could we? Alok Kirloskar, who is representing the Confederation of Indian Industry and is also the CEO of SPP Pumps Limited. Where would I like you? Would you mind standing next to the Deputy High Commissioner? And Gursheen Kaur Shahani, where are you? Who's Head of Business Development for Grant Thornton South Asia Business Group. Are you here? Ah, marvelous. Would you mind standing, now where is it? Next to Malcolm. Now, have you got all our photographers at the ready? Marvelous. And we're just going to wait to receive the reports, because instead of a cutting of the ribbon ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a releasing of the ribbons ceremony. Absolutely. Now, firstly, I'm going to check with my dear producer, Elvira, is the lineup as you want it? Or would you like us to rearrange anyone, Elvira? Oh, no, they're very happy with the lineup. Please hold up the pictures, the reports, Shri Goyal, and go, release the ribbons. So I hereby declare that the 12th edition of the Grant Thornton India Meets Britain Tracker has been launched. Thank you, all distinguished guests. And I'd like to just ask Anuj Chande. Thank you very much, Shri Goyal. Thanks, Mr. Doraiswamy. And now let me introduce you to Anuj Chande, who runs the South Asia Business Group for Grant Thornton, and he's going to give us the highlights of this year's tracker. Anuj.
Thank you very much, Shanisha. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. Minister, thank you very much for your presence and participating in the launch, and for the opportunity to talk here today. before I actually give you some of the highlights, and I'm going to only give you the quantitative highlights of the report, I'd like to just give you a little bit of genesis to this report. As a firm that's been involved in the corridor for 34 years, ever since India liberalized its economy, for many, many years we had a lot of people saying there's a lot of Indian investment in the UK, but nobody could actually quantify it. So back in 2013, I decided that it was time that we quantified it, going back to Manoj's point about data being critical for the future. I thought it was important that we do quantify the significant economic footprint in the UK economy. I approached CII to be our collaboration partner for that, and I'm very grateful to CII for the 12-year collaboration. I'm particularly pleased this year that we have IGF as our additional collaboration partner, who brings a very different angle to our report. And I've focused particularly on the future forum that's been set up in 2023 by IGF, which I think is going to be very relevant. And certainly when we have a panel discussion later, it is going to be critical to see that the IGF Future Forum is going to play a critical part. So copies of this report will be available at the end before you leave. I'm only going to give you the quantitative highlights of the report. There's a lot of other information in the tracker report that we just launched just now. So let me give you the overall key highlights. So there's a 23% increase from last year in the number of companies. That is the highest increase we had since we started tracking the exact numbers of Indian companies in the UK in 2017. The combined turnover has increased from 68 billion, as you see there, to 72 billion. The total number of employees has grown by 8,000 to 126, nearly 127,000. And the total number of female directors has also gone up. The only one which hasn't gone up is tax, and there's a reason for that. There is one very large Indian company that got the benefit from HMRC of a substantial tax credit. I will not name that company, but it's named there, but not in public here. But that was a £1 billion tax credit, so that's fine. What we do in this tracker report is that we identify the fastest growing Indian companies in the UK. Now, to qualify, you have to have a minimum turnover of 5 million and a trading history of at least 2 years. And you have to have grown by 10%. This year, I'm pleased to report that we have 74 companies out of the nearly 1,200 who have achieved a growth rate of 10%. 10% is actually a pretty impressive growth rate in any economy, but particularly in the economic environment that we have in the UK over the last year to 2024, that is an incredible result. And of these 74 companies, they've actually contributed 40% to the overall turnover that I mentioned to you earlier. Also, in terms of tax paid, they've actually contributed 40% as well. And they've actually spent 1.2 million in just additional capex. This is ignoring the initial investments that have been made by the company. In terms of sectors, TMT has always been a key sector for Indian companies, and as per last year, it is the leading sector. Pharmaceuticals and chemicals are the next biggest sector, about 21%, and then you've got manufacturing and engineering followed there at 14%. I'm going to try and speed through this because we've lost a little bit of time, but in terms of regions, London continues to dominate in terms of regions. The Midlands and the North have historically been quite significant, but this year they've come down a bit. The South has actually increased its percentage of people, but London still dominates with 47%, down from 52% the year before. In terms of size of companies, 97% of the companies are what we would call mid-corporate or SME companies, and you've got 3% which would be the larger companies, which is a reflection partly to do with the size. Obviously, it's more difficult to grow if you are a 250 million pounds or over business. But just picking up on Manoj's point about the 10 years since Modi's visit to the UK and the Wembley Stadium, so where we had 60,000 people, and Prime Ministers Cameron and Modi, in fact, they both quoted figures from our report. I just wanted to highlight some trends in comparison to the 10 years, the report that was the 2015 report that was produced in May 2015, and comparing it with what we have today. There's been a 50% increase in the number of Indian companies in the UK, a 50% increase. The size of the combined turnover has also increased by 50%, right? The number of employees has gone up by 25%. And the number of the number of women on boards has gone up by 25%. That was from 2019, because 2019 was the first time we started quoting numbers. Very quickly, as I'm again conscious of time, in terms of TMT continues to lead in terms of sectors, and we see certainly for the future that would be the case. Pharmaceuticals and chemicals has grown steadily in terms of its contribution. Engineering and manufacturing there's been a tussle between number two, the pharma companies and the engineering and manufacturing companies. Indian banks, it's worth highlighting that Indian banks have taken have increased certainly in terms of their presence in the UK. Regionally, London continues to be and has been dominant. It went up from 25% to 50% over the years, but London still continues to it. But you still have the regions making up the remaining half, 50%. In terms of the size of companies, they've generally been the same as I'd mentioned before. That's all I really wanted to say here, because I'm conscious of time, but thank you very much for that. There are, as I mentioned to you, there's full details of the highlights of the report, the qualitative aspects of the report, which will be available later on this afternoon when you're leaving. So all it remains for me to say is thank you again to IGF for co-hosting this launch and giving us the opportunity to launch this 2025 India Meets Britain tracker. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anuj, stay there. We'll do a quick stand-up question while we move the furniture around,
sure,
as we do. So, record growth in Indian-owned businesses operating in the UK. An easy gimme question. What's driving that trend?
I think there's probably four things I would say that were driving it. Number one is it's very easy to start a business in the UK. The ease of doing business is so easy here. I think the second thing is about the access to skills and talent and labor in the UK. UK affords some excellent talent, particularly in the sectors that we're talking about in terms of IT and pharmaceuticals. I think the third thing is something which Minister Goel picked up, was that the diaspora, the existence of the diaspora in the UK, it creates that shared heritage, that actually also attracts a lot of Indian companies. They feel comfortable about coming to work, coming to set up in the UK, given the 1.9 million Indian diaspora here. I think the last thing I would say is that the support that the UK government gives to not just Indian companies, but to any company that's looking to set up in the UK, whether it's the British Business Bank, whether it's the R&D tax credits that are available from HMRC. I think I would say that those would be the sort of four main drivers. I mean, there are many other drivers, but those would be the four main.